You sure do like to share your opinions, talking big like somebody's listening. Nobody's listening.
Max! Oh!
Hit the ignition. Now you listen. Hop up in the window. Smaller and smaller, you fade down. Hop up in the window.
I don't expect them to have a great season. I think they'll have another disappointing season. Last year they were contending, you know, they were almost in the 8. Then the last few rounds they slipped away, but they struggled quite a lot. Obviously they've lost the first 3-4 games last year, right? I think they'll have a better start this year, but I think overall they'll be largely inconsistent and they won't get enough wins to make the 8. St Kilda! I think they'll have a similar season to Geelong, but I think they have less expectations than Geelong because they're a lot less successful, just historically and in the present as well. But I think St Kilda, similarly to Geelong, I don't think they'll have enough consistency to make. Just realised that it says KFC in their logo. The 8. They could contend for it at some points in the season for sure. I mean, I put them 11th, but I just don't think they'll have enough wins and enough legs to make it all the way after round 24 to be in the 8. I just can't see that in St Kilda. I'd like to see them do it because I want to see them break their. I'm taking that. I know we kind of need to take something right now, but I'm taking that. I was one position off and I was right about my reasoning. So I'm taking that. I couldn't see it in them to make the 8. They didn't do it. They showed some promising signs, but they didn't do it. So I'm accepting this as a win. We finally got a win, but it's no exact position yet, but it's still a win. A drought. Our first win, we're 11th, Jesus. So almost halfway through the ladder. Same year as England won the World Cup, and that's the early World Cup. It's a nice contrast, similarity there. But yeah, they were so close in 2010 as well. If only there was extra time back then, who knows. But it's been a long time for them, so I want to see them win a flag at some point, but I just can't see that this year. I thought it was possible at the start of last year because they had a great start last year, but then they slipped down. This year I don't expect them to even have a good start like they did last year. I don't think they'll do that. True. I could be wrong. I'm losing my voice, sorry. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I want Saints to do well, but I can't see it in them.
Apart from the
10th,
position.
I got the Western Bulldogs. I think their season will be similar to last year. I think they'll be a contender for the 8.
This is an L.
Throughout the season, but I think they'll just fall short. And last year they fell.
I did say they'd be a contender throughout the season, though. At least I got that bit, but the prediction is wrong.
Fell short because they couldn't win a couple games that they really should have won. You know, they lost to like 2 teams in the bottom 4, so that didn't help them. Because they would have been there. They would have been there, but I think they'll have a similar season in terms of just missing out, like doing really well, but like just not having enough because they lose certain games they should win. The Bulldogs can be quite unpredictable, I feel, because on their day they can beat anyone, but it's not always their day, shall we say. But I think they'll finish 10th. In 9th place, I got Richmond. I put them 9th last year, and people were angry. Why have you not put them in the 8? How dare you? And I was right. They didn't make finals. In fact, I was nice to them. This year, I did my draft ladder. I put Richmond in the 8. I put them like 7th, I think. And people commented, "Are you crazy? They're going to be terrible. They're going to be bottom 4. I'm just like, okay, relax. Relax. I don't hate or love Richmond. I found them annoying when they're winning 3 flags in 4 years. But if any team dominated that much, I'd have a problem with it, unless it was Hawthorn. So that's a bit different. Even if it was like Freo, who I like, if Freo won 3 flags in 4 years, it wouldn't happen anyway. But if they did, a big if.
It wouldn't happen. They can't even win 1 flag, let alone 3 in 4 years.
If they won 3 flags in 4 years, I wouldn't like them that much either. So it's just like, apart from that 3 flags in 4 years that I found a bit annoying, And I also liked Adelaide quite a lot when they beat them in 2017. That did actually annoy me quite a bit. I never hated Richmond. Like, you know, they got a great song, Yellow and Black. I hated when they smashed us in round 22, 2022 at the MCG. I was there on holiday. It was awful. But, you know, I never hated them, but I never loved them either. And when I predicted them outside the finals, outside the 8 last year, it wasn't because I didn't like them. I genuinely thought they wouldn't do that well, and they would just miss out. And this time I'm saying, they'll be the same as last year. They'll miss out on the finals, but they will be a contender at least for a little bit. Then they'll slip away like last year. I'm going to put them 9th, partly because of the meme, but I genuinely do think they'll be between 9th and 12th, the bracket where you're almost in the 8, but you're not. I think they'll be in that category. I could be wrong, because literally everyone is putting them below where I'm putting them. Literally everyone. I've not seen anyone put Richmond as high as 9th, or any higher than that. So maybe I'm completely wrong. And I know a lot of you have been following, grew up with AFL, been following it a lot longer. You know a lot more about the game. I've only been a fan since 2017. I get it. But based on what I think and what I see, I don't think they'll be that bad this season, but it won't be that good either. So yeah, apparently this year I love them because I put them higher than they should be. But you know, I'm just saying, do not underestimate the Tigers this year, okay? And I'm not saying that because I suddenly love them. I am neutral of Richmond, okay? Let's just leave it at that, all right? The teams I dislike: Collingwood, Geelong, Essendon. That's all you need to know, okay? and North Melbourne, okay? The rest of them, I don't hate anyone else, okay? So calm down. Calm down. Because I know the comments will go crazy if I don't clarify certain things. In the 8s...
I mean, I kept that playing because it's a fair explanation. This idea that I hate Richmond is stupid. Yeah. But yeah, the prediction is an L. That was just ridiculous. To put them as high as that was very stupid of me and very naive. So, yeah. We've only got one W, and that's St Kilda, and now we're in the 8s. This is terrible. Last year was so good. This year, what are we doing? Hopefully the Giants win the flag to make up for this. Let's see what I got next.
Port Adelaide, a bit of a risk here. I put too much faith in this team. I had them as flag winners 2 years ago, I'm pretty sure. And they were not even in the 8. So, and there was a couple times, obviously, when they made the prelims, and I thought, oh yeah, they're gonna get to the grand final. It's gonna be amazing. And then just got embarrassed at home to the Western Bulldogs, or the other time I think it was Geelong, or I think they beat Geelong. They lost to someone else in the prelim. I can't remember who. It was a bit of a closer game than the Bulldogs won. I always have faith in them in certain scenarios, and they just embarrass themselves completely. I think the biggest issue with Port, for me at least, since watching in 2017 actually, because it was an issue back then as well, is they can't go for the whole season. That's what it feels like. They can be very good for a large part of a season. Then they just slip down, like, they just slip away like it's nothing.
It was the other way around this time. It didn't look so good at first, and had a strong finish. Maybe it's different this time. But there is still a bit of that in there. They can't always maintain a whole season. But there is a different vibe about them this season. This is a miss. I guess I put them in the 8, sure. But I put them just making the 8. So that is not correct. So I'm not taking this, even though I've had them in the finals. Obviously they finished second, so yeah. But some of the things I say are right, but obviously the prediction is not.
It's just like, it's like they use all their energy. And as soon as they're out, and like they're out of energy at some point in the season, could be halfway, could be
They need some
18.
prime.
As soon as they're out of energy, they're just terrible. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just a psychological thing. I don't know. Or it could just be fatigue. I don't know. But for some reason, Port Adelaide, multiple times, it's happened at least 4 times, I think, since I started watching AFL, where they've had a strong start to the season. They look good, especially last year when they were top 2 of Collingwood. They look good for a lot of the season, and then at some point...
They're top 2 now. Time to prove yourselves, Port Adelaide. See you in the finals.
Just drops. Like, they're so good for most of it, and at some point they just drop like that. And I'm just like...
This time it's...
What happened to you? And there was a couple times when they made the top 4. And then they won a finals game, and then as soon as you get to the prelim, the drop-off happened again. Sometimes it happens really late. They never get all the way without dropping off completely. It's a weird thing about them. Because, you know, at their best, in many
There's still
seasons,
finals
they've
to
been
go.
pretty damn incredible to watch. But then they just do certain things, and it's just like... It's like they switched out of their clones. Like they all cloned themselves and they sent a different team out there.
Right.
It's like, that's what it feels like sometimes. So
I'm baffled
yeah.
with myself what I'm saying now.
It's just that's just poor LA to me sometimes. But I got them in the 8, just missing out. Just getting in. I had them like 9th or 10th, I think, when I did the draft one. So I pushed them up a little bit. I could be wrong, but that is what I'm predicting. I got the Power in the 8. In 7th.
Camera's gonna run out, 30 minutes limit. Sorry, my camera only records 30 minutes at a time, so I had to it was literally like 2 seconds off and it cut off. But yeah, obviously not a good prediction. I was gonna point out, right, that this video, like there was no script for it. I just wrote down 18 teams, did like a draft, redid it a few times. And then a lot of this is all of this is on the spot. There's like no script. So I don't know. I don't know, like some of the things I say, I'm just like, I said that's weird, and it's also on the spot. But I think it works. I don't think I need to write down my reasons. I think I can just say it. I think it works. Anyway, let's continue.
Melbourne,
7th place.
I think they'll struggle a bit this season.
That's an L. They finished 14th. It's an L.
Especially in big games. I think they'll still be in the 8 because they've been in the top 4 consistently. But two straight sets exits in the finals in consecutive years, I think that's gonna have an effect on them. I know one subscriber of mine reckons they'll slip down completely out of the 8 because losing like that 2 years in a row, it can affect you. I don't think they'll slip down that much.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know who that person is. Might have been Mars McGee. I think it's Mars McGee. Or it's Mr. Cat. It's one of those two. It's either Mars McGee or Mr. Cat. But one of them did say that they drop out the 8 completely. I think it's Mr. Cat. I think I distinctly remember Mr. Cat saying that. I think it's Mr. Cat, actually. In a stream chat, last year finals. Yeah. I mean, he's not wrong, is he? Yeah, because I remember Mars McGee said 3 years in a row, straight sets exit. So he said finals Melbourne. So it was Mr. Cat. So he cooked with that. They did miss out on the 8 completely. So, and obviously I'm wrong. So I only got St Kilda to brag about for flip's sake.
I do think they'll slip down into the bottom half of the 8. I think they'll stay in the 8 just. But I don't think they'll finish in a strong finals position. That's just my opinion. Could be wrong. Could be very wrong, but I can see Melbourne slipping. They've still got a good squad, a strong squad. It's certainly, I still think it's capable of,
I'd like to point out also, even though this was on the spot, the other video, what each team will do, there was kind of a script. I wrote down for each of the 18 teams what they'll do. So that one has a script. This one doesn't. I just want to clarify that because that came into my head. I know it's a random point in the video, but I always think of random things at random times, okay? So let's move back in.
Being a contender. But I just don't see them in the top 4 this season. Again, could be wrong. In 6th place, I got the Adelaide Crows. And it's not because I like them. I thought they were very impressive last year. Very impressive. I was just like, yeah, this team looks really good. They just need a fresh start, a new season. I think this season is the time to prove themselves. Because last year they showed big signs in many games of being a very good team. I think they've got the quality, they've got the players. As long as they hit form, hit the ground running, I think they'll be a serious finals contender this year. And I had them to make the 8th. I think they'll be 6th. I think they'll be very good. As long as they can be consistent, I think I'm confident they'll make it. Unless they, I'll let you know again in round 10 or something. But I'm fairly confident they'll do very well. I'd be surprised if they didn't. I'd be very surprised if they didn't. I'm definitely more confident in this than Fremantle 3rd last year. So that gives me some PTSD, that one.
It gets worse every time, man. Can we stop this video? Apart from St. Kilda, I have just got L after L after L after L. I mean, the Hawthorn one is not an L to me because that's my team doing well. But still, in terms of predictions, only St. Kilda, that's one. Flipping one. Oh, my days.
5th place, Sydney Swans. I think they'll be back to being very strong. They could be top 4. If they made top 4, I would not be surprised. In fact, if they were first, I'd not be surprised.
I gotta take what I can get. This is still wrong. I'm not counting this as a W, but I said if they were first, I would not be surprised, okay? That's not a prediction, but it's kind of a premonition. It's not a correct prediction, but I also said if they finish first, I wouldn't be surprised. And they finished first, I'm not surprised, okay? It's not a right prediction, but at least it's something good.
PTSD, that one.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever